Well, Shriyanka is one of the best players in the WPL at this point.
Does that have to do with anything?
So marriage and all that, see, it's...
No. I asked a simple question. Siddharth is already married.
Yeah.
The simple answer would have been yes.
Yes.
But I am not the one who's going around asking WPL or proposing WPL player. You are saying no, but she's the number one player. So does it make it all right?
No, it doesn't. It really doesn't.
Have you been enjoying the WPL?
So the first two games were really enjoyable, but apart from that, it's now tapered. That middle season of the tournament, like the IPL.
And actually, sadly, for me, the two teams I predicted would be bottom are in fact bottom. The UP Warriors and Gujarat Giants, unfortunately, because again, the one clear and obvious weakness with their team building is not a lot of Indian top level talent. I think Gujarat had gambled on Kashmi Gautam.
Yes.
But she unfortunately ended up pulling out with an injury. And I remember a dear colleague of ours who now happens to work with the PR of not one but both teams, rather disappointedly asked me, do you really think they'll finish last? And I said yes.
Yes. So we are now in the middle stages. I mean, the league could change once it's come to Delhi. Maybe it will be all
I'm
slam
pleasantly
bang.
surprised by how well RCB are doing.
I had said 2024 will be RCB's year. Could be.
You mean for WPL or IPL or both?
WPL.
They have a pretty solid team.
They have a solid team. So that's why it could be their year, and the men could be inspired to do something extraordinary. They could be inspired.
I hope.
What's happening with the men's team? What's the latest? The one bit of news, of course, as you all know, if you've been watching sports today, is that Rahul has been ruled out of the 5th test match, and Jasprit Bumrah is returning. Meanwhile, Washington Sundar has also been allowed to go play domestic cricket for Tamil Nadu, so he's been excused. What that does is that you still have a Rajat Patidar in the squad, and you have a Devdutt Padikkal also in the squad, with reports suggesting that there's a possibility with Padikkal now getting a chance in the final test match. We don't know whether that happens or not. You heard Mr. Gavaskar on Sports Today the other day say that no, maybe now that the series is done and dusted, he may be tempted to give Patidar one more chance in that final test. That apart, the one thing that really stands out for me is the commitment of Jasprit Bumrah. He needn't have come back to play this test match since the series was done and dusted. Could have been asked to relax a bit, get ready for IPL, because we know IPL he would have definitely played all the games, and he should. Any franchise who has Jasprit will utilize it. And then there is the T20 World Cup, so may have been tempted to rest him, but I think the Indian team management is following the workload chart they may have been given, that initially he will play these 3 test matches, 4th you'll have to rest him, then a 9-day break and that 4th test match that he's rested already. All of that will help him then play the 5th test match, and I like the commitment. That means the Indian team is not sitting back with just 3-1. They want to make it 4-1. They're not, because also there are WTC points up for grabs.
And the series that's happening down under in New Zealand, that could be a major table churner in the WTC, because if Australia win and New Zealand manage to win the next test, then it could put India in trouble if they don't win the 5th one. So that's why a lot of points are at stake. But I felt, I initially didn't agree with Bumrah coming back for Dharamshala for 2 simple reasons. One, from March till June, you're playing non-stop. IPL is there for 3 months until May. Then you've got the World T20 for India. It begins from June 5 onwards. Maybe he may not play the first game, but he may play the next game against Pakistan on June 9th. Because it's against the minnow, it's Ireland. Maybe they may not want to rest, but it starts on 5th for them. So there is no way in this period where you're giving him a full month's rest. It could have been possible because Ranchi, the series is done 3-1. You won Ranchi even without a Bumrah. With Bumrah coming back in, maybe the nature of the wicket is such that you will want to play 3 pacers.
No chance you're playing. You'll play 2 pacers.
2 pacers and 3 spinners in Dharamshala.
That's why he could have been rested, but maybe you're right. I guess nowadays, and that's the one good thing about WTC, while there are a lot of things that we complain about in WTC, like how points are given, how not each country plays against each other, and so on and so forth. But there are certain good things, which is that at no point is a series done and dusted. There is no dead rubber as such, especially for teams which are still in the hunt for qualifying. So what that does is keeps it competitive. Though having said that, with an India-England series, you would have still been competitive.
Yep.
Especially from the England camp, because you've already heard from them that just the fact, they never really, now that they've opened up, they never really thought they'll win in India. It is such a tough thing to do, toughest place to tour, other than go
Australia.
to father-in-law's house. the second toughest place to tour. So they didn't have too many expectations, but having said that, they know that if you had to go back to England with 3-2, that will do a world of good. So they would have been fired up no matter what. But I guess for India, I think this has helped the WTC scenario.
It has.
That's why Bumrah comes
and I think the best part is not many draws. The draw factor has been eliminated in the WTC cycle. Very few draws, barring a rain interruption or
some absolute thriller of a match. That's the extent of it. Otherwise, everyone always going for a win.
The number of wins, the percentage of wins and losses has increased in the WTC once the WTC cycles come in. The draw factor has been eliminated. So that's one good thing about it. But I think Bumrah, that 1 month of rest after 2 intense months of IPL and World T20, I think this was the right opportunity. But I don't know. I was not a fan of resting Bumrah for Ranchi. Was a fan of resting him in Dharamshala. But
because it would have been consecutive rest then.
Yeah.
Okay, that's Bumrah. KL Rahul, he, as far as I remember, they had said that he was 90% fit to play the third test match. No?
Yes.
Third test match. He was 90%
fit.
But then he didn't play the third.
He didn't play the third. He didn't play the fourth. They were waiting on him for the fifth. But now the official statements come. He's not fit for the fifth test. So only one test he's played. And second test was ruled out because he had that injury. 90%. What is it with that 10% that is not helping KL Rahul is something he's really cursed, I'm telling you.
I mean, some unkind people might point out that the one test match he played, India lost. So
that's really unfortunate. I mean, I'll tell you one thing. That one factor, and combined with the fact that, okay, now he'll be fit for the IPL. Once again gets that whole thing, he is injury prone and does not deserve to be in the Indian cricket team setup.
But are we 110% sure he'll be fit for the IPL? Because even the nature of his injury, is so mysterious. Unless he's also pulling a Shreyas Iyer.
It is. I think it's bordering on
This is
over
an outrageous statement by Shane that we are not 100% sure that he'll be fit for the IPL.
Are we?
We will be. He will be fit. Because see, I'll tell you why.
You've got your answer.
There is overcaution in Rahul's thing. See, what is the problem with KL Rahul is that already he's had so many injuries. 90% fit, but then he is having that discomfort. He said that I am feeling
that inflammation.
Yes. It can't be compared to Shreyas Iyer because Iyer himself was confused over his own fitness status.
But I mean,
see, he was complaining of back pain, but NCA cleared him.
So similar thing has happened with KL Rahul.
No. In the case of KL Rahul, 90% is clear. The numbers are clear with KL Rahul.
The point is, when they ran scans on his quad, they found nothing wrong. He chose then not to travel because he said, no, there's some discomfort. And now finally, it's reached a point wherein he has consulted an expert. But again, it's very weird that the scans that the NCA ran had nothing wrong with him.
That's the thing. So see.
If NCA has given him a clean sheet, are players allowed to decide for themselves what's good or not or whatever? Or you have to do it via
see,
NCA?
he must be feeling that discomfort. Otherwise, he wouldn't have told it out.
I like that you're being very compassionate, Siddharth. That's nice that you're being, compassionate and considerate about how KL must be feeling some niggle. Otherwise, why would he do it? Then why you don't show this for Shreyas Iyer? Shreyas Iyer also said he had back spasm. But in Shreyas Iyer's case, you were pouncing on him that what is this? That why, back spasm come at certain time. This is what we discussed, right?
Yeah.
What happened in Shreyas Iyer's case? That he played the second test match.
Yeah.
After that, there was a big gap. So he was told by the selectors, now you go play a Ranji Trophy. He said, "Nahin, I have some issue. I cannot play more than 30
balls, yeah.
I cannot play. So I cannot play long bits." He said that. Then when the team was up to be announced for third test, he made himself available.
Yeah.
They did not pick him.
Yes. And no statement was given as to why. He was dropped.
He was dropped precisely for this. Then after that, he had a chance to play. Mumbai was still in contention. He had a chance to play the quarterfinals. He did not turn up. Yes.
Because Mumbai Cricket Association said back spasm.
So, but my point is this. When you have taken a stance for Shreyas Iyer, where you have said that our team at the NCA has kind of said you're fine, and you are still coming up with these complaints that you have back spasm. I'm not terming them as excuse because I don't know. Some people may see them as excuse, but I'm just saying if they are coming up with reasons to skip, because in his case back spasm, BCCI said no, our team says you are fit, you are saying back spasm, we have not seen it, so here you go out of the contract. I like that. I like BCCI's approach that they are now becoming serious for domestic cricket. Everyone who has not followed their diktat, whether it is Ishan Kishan, who conveniently decided that I'm not available to play and then is busy practicing earlier with his IPL captain, now playing the DY Patil tournament, also dropped. Same with Shreyas Iyer, who, by the way, let me add, when he was doing all of this, when he was saying he has back spasm, he attended a pre-season IPL camp with Kolkata Knight Riders. Right, so then there was no issue of back. So they called him out. The BCCI has called him out and dropped him from contract. My point is, isn't KL's case quite similar? Because your team is saying 90% fit and he's saying, no, I have discomfort, I will go to the UK, I'll get it shown, this and that. How doesn't it amount to the same thing? My only point is that if there is indeed an issue, then it should be the NCA, the authority, to tell us. And if they say there is an issue, then there is an issue. Like it happened in his case earlier. He was not fit, so did not play, made a return in Asia Cup, all of that. But then how is it different? Won't there be people, I'm not questioning, but I wouldn't blame people who question, who will say that, how do I know that it is genuinely an issue, or this is a same thing that Shreyas Iyer was pulling, because Karnataka is also playing Ranji Trophy.
Now they're eliminated.
Yeah, but I'm talking about that phase. They were playing, right?
They were playing.
But he was unfit.
He was unfit at that time.
Yes. Then
see, I think it's not fair.
Mumbai eliminated them just recently.
No, Vidarbha.
It was
Vidarbha eliminated. See, it's not fair to compare the Shreyas Iyer situation with KL Rahul for a simple reason. Okay. Now, even in the Ranji Trophy setup also, Shreyas Iyer, when he had that back spasm in the second test, already he had poor form preceding him. Okay, number one. When the BCCI gave the statement, now I don't know whether you to believe the BCCI totally. Normally, when a injured player status comes, they give a statement.
No, he was dropped. So there is no.
KL Rahul had an injury, and Shreyas Iyer, I had a back problem, but NCA cleared me. But MCA is giving a different statement that yes, he's had back spasms.
They didn't say he had back spasms. They said he pulled out due to, or he didn't make himself available due to not. They're giving the official reason that the player gave.
Yeah, exactly. In
MCA aren't covering for Shreyas Iyer.
MCA, Mumbai Cricket Association.
MCA are not covering for Shreyas Iyer.
But even MCA does not know.
MCA doesn't know.
So how is it different?
Communication is not clear.
How is it different? Communication is clear. How is it different? Here a player is saying I'm not fit. Okay. And BCCI is saying no, according to our team you are fit, you better play. Right now, the same case in KL Rahul, exactly the same case. So I'm surprised you're not comparing. Exactly the same case where there is now it is mentioned in print in the report that the Times of India carry, where they have said that they asked the NCA staff about KL Rahul, similar to when they had said that Shreyas Iyer, according to us, is fit. Shreyas was saying he's having a problem. The NCA medical team said no, for us he's fit. That means the selectors realized that he's
bluffing.
Yeah, and not playing domestic cricket, dropped him. Same case in KL Rahul's case, where now it has been reported, it's written, it's in print, where they've said that the medical staff at NCA said, we have no idea. For us, he is fit. We do not know about this thing.
They're saying the scans they ran are not showing anything wrong per se. There's no tear, no.
So how is it different, my friend? How is it different? Why are there different strokes for different folks?
See,
I want to know, I want more clarity, and I will question the BCCI in this. I think the BCCI has done very well by taking that step and putting their foot down, but you can't do that half-heartedly. If it is a question of respecting domestic cricket, which it should be, and players, coming up with injury excuse to miss domestic cricket, that's the issue, and you're trying to weed that out by not giving them contracts, by being harsh on them. You've done it for Ishan Kishan, well done. You've done it for Shreyas Iyer, well done. I hope better sense prevails, and these are, by the way, two young players. I want them to do well. So maybe this is a warning, and from now on they get back to normal, as has been the case with Shreyas Iyer. But why is there an exception, let's say in KL Rahul's case?
Okay, see, when KL Rahul got that injury, okay, now we know that the injury protocol is you rehabilitate at the NCA. By the time the rehabilitation was done, Karnataka were knocked out.
No, Siddharth, Karnataka got knocked out 2 days ago.
2-3 days ago.
No, but I'm talking about from the second test onwards.
But that time he was injured and undergoing rehabilitation.
But after that, how much time? 90% fit was for the third test.
Third test
happened so long ago. We finished with 4 tests, Siddharth.
So what I am saying,
where is the gap? 90% fit they had said at that time.
See, he is bordering on overcaution. KL Rahul, the one complaint that you can give is that he is overcautious. Because he underwent that surgery, thigh surgery that happened after the IPL in 2023 May. After that, who better than KL Rahul and Shreyas Iyer to be knowing the NCA facilities? They have been full-time members of it for the past 1.5 years.
Okay. I'll buy that argument that you're saying maybe KL is overcautious, and I agree that he has been very unlucky with injuries.
Yeah.
Okay. Can we show the list of injuries so that everyone knows? This is just a timeline of KL Rahul's injuries, the amount of injuries he had. He had thigh strain in 21. He was ruled out of the 2-test match series versus New Zealand at home.
Yeah.
Then groin, June 22, misses T20 series versus South Africa.
Plus,
he was supposed to captain.
Exactly.
Yeah. Plus sports hernia and COVID.
Yeah. So this is groin. It was groin injury which later became sports hernia. It was the same injury.
Yeah.
Right, in June 22. Then there is a thigh injury, May 23, that ruled him out of IPL 23. This was visible. It happened on camera. Everyone saw him chase that ball to the boundary, pulled up his thigh, and then had to miss out majority of the IPL. From that, there was a long time he was out. He only made his comeback in the Asia Cup in Sri Lanka.
Yes.
Long time he sat out, right? Then there was a quadricep injury that he's got right now, which ruled him out of the England Test series after the first Test match. He has not played since then. Just a list of injury. Now going back to your point where you're saying that maybe he was extra cautious, and I can agree. We just saw a list of injury. Poor guy has been unlucky with injuries. I'll concede that. So he's extra careful. Even slight thing has happened, he's being careful. My 2 points about that is, why isn't then the same logic applied to Shreyas Iyer? Then you could have been soft on Shreyas Iyer also. He's also another one who keeps getting these back injuries, missed the Asia Cup few games even though he was selected. Before that was injured, has missed the IPL earlier, lost his captaincy in the IPL because of all of that has happened. So how can you then blame Shreyas Iyer not for being careful? This time if you are going to be that compassionate from the BCCI that listen, he's been unlucky with injuries, so let me give him the benefit of the doubt. Thoda bhi hai to he will be careful. The same thing happens with Shreyas Iyer. With him, you've taken a tough stand, and I like that.
Yeah.
But you've not done that.
But with Shreyas Iyer, he undid his own case. I'll tell you why. Okay, 3 things. Okay, we all kind of agree that KL Rahul was in a bit of form until the first test against England, right? Test match form, and even World Cup form, he was pretty decent. With Iyer, his test form had deserted him. Number 1. Okay. Number 2, that pre-season camp with KKR at a time when he was injured. But KL Rahul didn't have any kind of pre-season camp with any of the franchisees that was there. You are injured, but you are attending a pre-season IPL camp. Rahul never made IPL versus Test a priority. Shreyas inadvertently made IPL versus Test priority.
No, just a point on the form. The form argument is okay, but that form argument only is for dropping. in Shreyas Iyer's case, for example, Shreyas Iyer has played enough matches to qualify for the contracts. That's got nothing to do with form, right? Yeah. He's played enough ODIs
he's
to
played,
qualify, but they have excluded him from the contracts. So it's no more about form. It is a step that you have taken, that boss, you are mistreating domestic cricket, you are being defiant, you're not following the instruction despite sending letters, reminder, you're not doing it, so we've removed you.
That is the defiance.
So, but the thing is that, the same thing, Siddharth.
KL has not defied anybody.
Exactly. How is Shreyas defied? He's saying I'm injured. Shreyas Iyer will say today I was injured. You're being harsh on me. I've played enough matches to comply for the contract. Okay. And now I did not play this because I'm injured.
But
that's why. But you're not taking his word, but you're taking KL Rahul's word.
Because he's given a lot of statements which has been confirmed by third party sources.
No, but same is happening in Rahul's case. 90% the NCA staff is saying he was fit. For them, he was fit to play. He himself is now coming up with it. I'm sorry, but I see no difference. I would want a clarity from the BCCI that what I would have liked. That's what I'm saying. If they've sent a release explaining everybody's case in point of making a return, then I would have liked a release as to knowing what is the extent of his injury, an NCA statement saying that yes, he is indeed injured, and according to our assessment, he is injured, which did not happen in Shreyas Iyer's case. Then I could understand. But here you have the NCA on record saying 90% he was fit to play. I don't know what.
And that our scans are saying there's nothing wrong with it.
See, NCA had passed a similar thing that he's not, that he's fit, Shreyas Iyer. But then later on, we come to know he's had back spasms later, isn't it? Back spasms were later. This came not from the player, but from the Mumbai Cricket Association.
No, it didn't come from because he told them.
He told them. Okay.
So it's come from him only.
Okay. So how much time does it normally take to recover from a back spasm? At least a week or 10 days? Worst case scenario or best case scenario?
That's all conjecture, Siddharth. Now, how many days it takes from this to recover from that, we don't know.
But then he's playing the semi-final now. He's playing in the semi-final after he has been dropped from the contracts list.
Is KL Rahul playing the first game of the IPL?
He will.
So how come suddenly you are okay? He will. Here you are saying he has to be cautious. He must have had an issue. He must have had. But now for IPL you're not saying.
He is looking at the bigger picture now, IPL. Which is also the.
Just excuse me. You've defeated the entire purpose of what BCCI is trying to do. You are saying he's looking at the bigger picture, which is obviously the IPL. The whole thing that the BCCI is trying to change is that start focusing on what is the biggest story of the other big story is that now, and which is a good thing, that apart from taking this stern step about people who are not playing and dropping him from the contract, the other thing is to increase the contract price, to make it a 15 crore contract in terms of players that are contracted, so that if you do not play test cricket, you do not get 15 crore, which will be one of the best contracts in the IPL. So you have a reason to play. If you do not play domestic cricket, now 75 lakh is what they're planning for. About 25 lakh on an average.
10 games, 75 lakhs.
If you play all Ranji games, to make it to 75 lakh. Why are they doing it? To ensure that that is given priority at par with IPL. They're doing all of that, and then you here, sitting here, is saying, KL is looking at the bigger picture.
But he's already satisfied the contract.
So is Shreyas Iyer.
Yeah, exactly.
Not in tests.
Baba, it doesn't matter. It has to be one format.
Two formats.
No, it doesn't matter.
But with Shreyas Iyer, the problem is bigger.
No,
the miscommunication that happened, that is the prime reason.
There is none. We are conveniently ignoring it in KL Rahul's case, because the BCCI are more than happy giving him a free pass. Simple as.
It can't be like that.
Of course it is like that.
No, why do you think that would be happening?
Because again, going back all the way, I'm not saying it's not some sort of a complicit thing, but KL Rahul is someone who is highly rated in the team management setup. A talented player. He's seen as a talented player, and truth be told, has shown enough glimpses to suggest that yes, there is a player there worth pursuing. But you will more often than not kind of find ways to fit him in, whether he starts keeping in tests, then he'll keep in away conditions, not in home conditions. I mean, half of this mess ironically started with KL Rahul's keeping. If he was not going to be keeping in South Africa, Ishan would have played. Ishan Kishan wouldn't be taking a break.
No.
Yes.
But Ishan Kishan had already made it clear that he couldn't play.
Ishan Kishan made it clear because he knew the writing was on the wall. We all knew the writing was on the wall.
The writing was on the wall because Ishan Kishan never got a break. He wanted a break ever after the World Cup.
He wanted a break because he was not happy riding the bench.
And because of T20I, who got selected in his place? It was Jitesh. That was the breaking point for Ishan Kishan, not KL Rahul keeping.
One thing I just want to, interesting point he makes. Okay, one is because Shane says that maybe he got away slightly more, maybe more lenient towards him because they see him as a
Talented player.
Or maybe a future captain, which they were seeing him, by the way. By the way, there's what he says there, I agree with it. So if you were to ask me if I was a selector or whatever, and if I'm looking at a Shreyas Iyer or a KL Rahul, I agree that a KL Rahul is at the moment far more important to me than a Iyer, because a KL Rahul has gotten back into form in test match cricket. He would have definitely made your 11 based on form. The only centurion in South Africa recently. Played well in the first test match as well. So, he's the guy that I know I'm going to be much ahead of Shreyas Iyer, who's struggling for form. I agree. In one day cricket also has had better impact than Shreyas Iyer. So completely agree. Both are out of T20. But this is what. So I agree on that he, in terms of the importance to Indian cricket, they value him. KL Rahul, I agree. My only objection to that is that if you are coming with a diktat and you want to fix Indian cricket, and you are saying that, listen, you have to give importance to domestic cricket, you have to give importance to test cricket, you cannot do it by having different strokes for different folks, no matter what they are. So you can't be that because KL is better than Shreyas Iyer in performance at the moment, so he will be given a bit of leniency, the others will not. If that is the case, then I would like the BCCI to specify. BCCI sent a letter, no? They've sent a letter to franchises, they've sent a letter to players, all of that. They said that even they have to give. Then they should write, players that are on the periphery, them we will be harsh with. Players that are slightly more established, will be, middling in our approach. Players who are top level legends like Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, we will not touch them. Then you mention it. Then you let us know that this is how you're going to function. If that's the case, I mean, by the way, if that is the case also, typically, I'm not going to be surprised. And I think it's not just with the BCCI, any workplace functions like that, right? The higher up you are in hierarchy, you have slightly different rules. If whether in a corporate structure, a government structure, whatever, private business, whatever, it does happen, different, completely agree. But then it will be best that we know. We know that these rules will only be for players that are youngsters, players that are coming in, will be harsh on them. The established ones can be left untouched. You spell it, let us know, and I'll accept it. The unfortunate bit is that hasn't been done.
And it hasn't, again, the prime example, ironically, is KL Rahul. What forced his recall in test cricket? His good ODI form. Did he play any domestic cricket? Did he play any domestic cricket in that time period when he was dropped after the Bangladesh test to the South Africa test? Zilch. He didn't.
So what happens to then the whole thing by BCCI that we want to give domestic cricket importance? If they do want to, then you're right. Then test players should be picked up on basis of domestic red ball performances, Ranji Trophy performances, not based on white ball performances. I know some will say, but listen, KL had already done well in red ball cricket at a certain time at 100, so he's an easier option to go to. But my point is then have that logic to everyone.
By that logic, Shreyas Iyer has had 4 bad innings, no? Before that, he was averaging for near close to 50.
But then after that, with KL Rahul, what happened? He had 4 bad innings in Bangladesh, and then you dropped him.
You dropped him. Did he go back to domestic cricket?
He couldn't. Because in January, this is the timeline, in January 2023, you're talking about Bangladesh 2022, okay, January 2023, he got married, remember, in January 2023, and that's why he had gone on a leave, and after that, immediately after that, 1 week later was the BGT. BGT came after that.
But how many tests did he play?
He played 2 tests.
And was dropped for 2?
He was dropped for the 3rd test afterwards, okay. Now, by that time, the domestic season was over. Okay. So, he got that injury again in IPL, May. Then again that entire string, how he was anyway selected by the way in the Syed Mushtaq Ali prior to the World Cup. But then you know that the World Cup happened. So Karnataka and all, they were all playing parallelly at that time. You remember Syed Mushtaq Ali was happening parallel to the World Cup.
Correct. SMAT and the
Vijay Hazare. So there was no chance that KL Rahul could have played in that because he was your keeper in the World Cup. And after this, okay, what happened in November? Break and everything. Then KL Rahul was picked to go in December. And in ODIs, what was he? He was your captain.
Oh yeah.
He was your captain and he was your test. In test, he was your best performer in South Africa.
What's the point?
The point is, you can't play Ranji Trophy at that period. And now suddenly we are making the BCCI dictate the holy cow, realizing that 10 years ago when you should have implemented this, you have to blame the BCCI. Player commitment can't be faulted in this case. In the case of Hardik Pandya, it can't be faulted. In the case of KL Rahul, it can't be. In the case of Shreyas Iyer, you can, because he himself did it wrongly.
No, my point on Hardik Pandya is, you said cannot be faulted. Now my point is that you have taken a tough call for, again, Ishan and Shreyas for not playing domestic cricket.
Yeah.
Hardik Pandya was practicing, so he was fit enough, right? He was practicing. And he was then playing D.Y. Patil, so he was fit enough. He could have also played domestic cricket. He did not. Now, the argument is that he is not playing test cricket. He doesn't aspire to play test cricket.
So Ranji is gone for him.
So Ranji is gone. No, but my point is this. So is that now a rule? Is that a escape route? If that is the case, then if tomorrow Shreyas Iyer or Ishan Kishan say, Shreyas Iyer says, no, I have dodgy back, I don't think I can bat very long, so I'm out of test cricket.
Will they be okay?
Then can you be okay? Then he will also, see if Hardik can do it, he's ruled himself out, so now you are saying it's okay because he is not aspiring to be a test cricketer, it's okay. So, which is fair. But then you are allowing everyone else to. Then what you are trying to weed out, that domestic cricket is important, everyone should play, don't just be happy with white ball performances. A lot of players will say, I'm not up for test cricket because I have this issue. Tomorrow, what will stop a Bumrah to say that I have injuries? I'm just saying, Bumrah is a committed guy, he knows the importance of test cricket, he does it. But let's say if he was not, and he wants to extend his white ball career, he wants to play more seasons of IPL. He can also say that, listen, my back, and you can get a doctor's report on that. I can't put stress, I can't bowl 18 overs a day, I'm only best 10 overs for ODI, so I'm only available. I withdraw myself from test cricket. Then he also doesn't need to play domestic cricket. Tomorrow Ishan Kishan will say that I have an issue or whatever, I withdraw myself from test cricket. Shreyas Iyer says I have batsman, I withdraw. Then you cannot have this, then all of them should go back into the contract right now, and then they should not be forced to play domestic cricket because they're out of the test cricket.
And to get even better,
a lot of players will do it.
Right now we're just saying withdraw. What if someone takes the extreme step and says, listen, I'm retiring from test cricket?
Which is
I'm not available. It's this close.
Which is happening. The trend has already started in the most of the Sena countries, if you look at it.
So how do you fix that?
It then boils down to the very subjective thing on player commitment. Because commitment is a subjective thing. You can't have the same yardstick in India. It's impossible to have an equal yardstick. Because the reputation of certain players are such. I think Hardik Pandya, we are all conveniently forgetting the fact that he could have immediately slotted into the WTC. The BCCI had offered him in that. But then he himself stated, my body is not up to it. I have not played for 5 years.
I agree. But then everyone can say that. No, my point is this.
I wish they do.
So then I would want Shreyas Iyer to say it. Ishan Kishan will say it tomorrow. Then what will happen? Then everyone will do it. Then you go back to square one. You go back to that. BCCI's effort to fix it will never happen. The players, why is this effort being done? The young kids who want to make the team will anyway play domestic cricket because they want to reach. It's the problem with established stars who don't want to play domestic cricket. So now if you're going to do this, what will stop established stars to say that, listen, I'm not up for test cricket because I have some issues. I have this issue, shoulder issue, back issue, so I cannot play for very long. They'll say it, then they're excused. They don't have to play domestic cricket. They don't have to play test cricket. That means they can still be on contract by playing those 10 ODIs, 8 ODIs, 10 T20Is, whatever. And they're going to be up for contracts. And guess what? If they are big enough, like a KL Rahul or a Shreyas Iyer in a few years, they could even be offered a contract like Hardik Pandya. What's the need?
KL already is an A contract player. if
Yeah,
I'm not
well then
mistaken.
what's the need?
Hardik and KL are both A.
What's the need? Then what's the need of KL then to play? KL can pull himself out,
So,
then
two
play
things.
IPL, play thing. So you cannot allow that. You'll have to come up with something. You'll have to come up with, even for Hardik who's ruled himself out for Test cricket, fair enough, because of whatever issue. But then you'll have to do something to ensure not everyone else follows that route. Everyone will follow that route.
It is three things. One, suddenly the toxic workforce that you are having for 10 years, the work culture that was there in an organization for 10 years, suddenly the new regime is saying, okay, break away from it, go back to basics, go back to convention. Now you're going to see a lot of churn in that attitude.
Now the convention is what is happening.
Yeah.
It's not convention of old.
Okay, so number one. Number two, there are personalities who have done yeoman's service for Indian cricket, and they'll say, oh, the problem is, okay, niggle, as Nikhil pointed out, niggle and all that thing. The main thing is we are all missing the big point. Correct me if I am wrong, the Indian cricket team is perhaps the only cricketing team or entity that plays for 12 months of the year. Is it wrong or is it, am I right
There's
or am
no
I
off-season.
right? There is no off season. Okay.
You didn't give us an option to say you are wrong.
Yeah.
Because you said, am I right or am I right?
Yeah.
So
So
I
there is
can't
no
say
option.
you're wrong.
Okay. So number one, VHT, SMAT and Ranji, they are played in the period from October to February.
No, but Siddharth, I agree that cricketers are playing more, but my point is that a lot of them are allowed rests as well. So they are allowed to skip series, they're allowed to not be playing. While I agree that BCCI, while doing, that you have to play domestic cricket, also have to ensure that there's some off season, because players need that, they have to do. But a lot of times players are, for series that aren't very important, players are allowed to rest.
Okay. Now get this. What is going to dominate India from November to January in 2024-2025? BGT. Okay. Prior to that, you've got 2 World Test Championship series at home, September, October. It's going to be against Bangladesh and New Zealand. Crucial points are at stake. That is your fag business end, your last 2 series at home. Okay. February.
Strategically placed.
Yeah. February. What is in February
Just before
2025?
everything is decided.
February
Bring on Bangladesh,
2025.
come home. Bring on Bangladesh, come home. Strategically.
Yeah, strategic. What is there in February 2025? The Champions
Trophy.
Trophy, an ICC event. Okay.
No, I agree about the calendar. You have to run through the calendar. I agree.
So,
It's busy.
how can the BCCI first has to make people realize that, boss, our players are not machines. They need to have an off period so that, forget contract hiking, forget every other kind of monetary thing. Treat them as humans first and give them an off season. Then you won't have a problem of niggle, injury management, workload management and all that.
No, but players are can pick and choose.
But again, this pick and choose is also creating a very convenient culture of commitment. We are questioning the commitment of players. That is happening. Okay.
No, a lot of them are dropped by workload management also.
They're rested. With that.
Rested.
Yeah, rested.
That's the term that we are using. Don't we see what this work culture has fostered? You can't have an off season. That's why you can't get players into the domestic setup. Now you offer them 51 crores also. Where is an off season? The BCCI, yet again, this I am saying, whatever the BCCI is proposing, it is like the January 2nd, 2023 commandment in a much more Shakespearean kind of a way. The only thing is greed and money is added into that. But implementation, it will be very important to see, because once again, your core players will not be available in October to February because of BGT. No, you're not resting people from the BGT.
But at the moment, they're not even expecting your regular players to play the entire season. You don't have to play entire Ranji Trophy. Some of them were just asked to play now.
Yeah.
But they did not, no?
So that is the
And
thing.
Ishan was asked to play just one game
Yes.
to prove that he did not play. So she didn't have to play the full season. Shreyas was asked to play that one game in the gap. He did not go.
He did not. So that
the
is
whole
what
thing-
it hurt them.
Yeah, but the whole thing of like the busy calendar is not, nobody's asking them to play full season. The ones who are playing Indian
So
cricket.
that is
They
the
don't have
difference.
to.
In Ishan, Kishan and Shreyas Iyengar's case, they hit the nail on their own foot. With KL Rahul, that's not been the case at all.
How do you know? I mean,
See,
you are being very generous.
you are talking about
I hope you are right. You're being
the
very-
broader picture is, see, KL Rahul, we are all speculating, right, that he may bat in the middle order. For what? so that he could come back into the scheme of things for a T20 World Cup, isn't it? IPL, T20 World Cup, he's the last of the three who's not played. Rohit, Virat came back in January. KL wants to come back in the scheme of things. He's not been there since November 2022. Okay? He wants to play the IPL so that he makes a claim for the T20 World Cup spot. Although on current form and looking at the squad at this point, it's very difficult to fit in a KL Rahul.
Yeah.
Okay? You have got Jitesh already in the pecking order. He is going to start most of it.
And your backup may very well be Sanju.
So where does a KL fit in? That is.
So what's the point, Siddharth?
My point is commitment as far as this is concerned. Domestic cricket, he can't play. He last played in 2019.
I am talking about right now.
He didn't give any kind of confounding, confusing statements like what Shreyas Iyer and Ishan Kishan have been speculating about. BCCI called up Ishan Kishan, are you available? No.
He said no. There was so there was no confusion there.
He said no and he was training.
And he's a centrally contracted player. So
is KL Rahul.
Now, Irfan Pathan and all the others, is it a lot of former players? Why did this tweet and this kind of trend go about? Okay, he's fit to practice, but he can't play an international game. This kind of thing popped up.
Yeah, but Irfan Pathan also criticized.
I know that.
Make up that what you will.
That is there. See, there is criticism. This kind of a situation, break. Now I don't want to play and out of the contract system.
Shivam is showing me a piece. He wants me to read it. He's saying that Kirti Azad is saying that if you are asking everyone to play domestic cricket, why don't you tell Rohit and Virat to play domestic cricket?
Can you bell the cat? Can you bell the cat? You can't.
And
you just said no. Where do they have the time?
And where time? So I'll add another point to that. In India, we are still, and what this directives are proving is that you're obsessed with the idea of all format players.
Yeah.
Why do you need all format players?
Please heed Joss Butler's words. He said 6 years ago, don't have the ego to play all three formats.
No, but if I'm a Virat Kohli and I'm good enough to play all formats, why would I not want to play?
But again, Kohli is debatable whether he should even be in the T20 scheme of things.
Rohit.
Well, okay, maybe you're debating now. Maybe 2 years ago there was no debate.
2 years back, fair.
Then why would he not want to play?
I don't know. See, I'm saying there are players who you will still get who are good enough to play. Warner did it. He's done it.
Williamson's doing it.
Williamson, okay, to an extent, yes, he's done it. Smith could never do it. Much as they tried to make him a T20, it didn't happen. It's not going to happen with everyone. Why do we want everyone to play all formats? Then we'll build from the same talent pool. Build a different white ball pool, build a different red ball pool, it won't kill you.
I like what Hardik is doing. He's made it clear he doesn't want to play. Every one of you guys who play at that level, do it. Tell the BCCI these are the formats I'm playing. Then they can't even force you to play domestic cricket. Continue playing.
And I'll continue getting A-grade contracts.
You have no option then.
I really appreciate Hardik Pandya's honesty. I really appreciate he gets unnecessary hate. I don't know what. I think it's his frank nature, which is going very well against everybody's grain here. He's ultra frank in that sense. He said, I can't play test cricket. I don't want to take the spot of a potential guy who's making a claim for himself.
That's why now I'm saying that's the model Shreyas Iyer, poor guy, should have followed. Poor guy.
But he didn't.
He's really now been, he could have followed Ishan Kishan. Poor Ishan should have followed this example. I hope Hardik has taught him a few tricks of the trade. Now they spent some time, taught him that, bol dena, khel hi nahi sakta test cricket. Get done with this. So very good point made. I think hopefully a lot of them will follow, and then we'll reach a situation where there will be only people who would want to play test cricket are the upcoming youngsters who don't have a chance to play for India. So they'll say, Arey, India cap I'll get. And maybe one or two like Virat Kohli or a Jasprit Bumrah will come along who will be hungry. So what will happen?
We hope.
But I think you have enough talent for them to be hungry. Yeah. You'll find enough.
That's what I said. The good thing with India is, it's such a big country, everyone loves cricket. So even if there are people who choose to ignore the long format of domestic cricket, there will be so much talent coming through that you will never fall short of players. Having said that, the point is, and every country should be, gunning for that why shouldn't your best batters be available for test cricket?
Well, I think
let's not reach a situation where they say that no.
But a lot of top nations, barring maybe in England and Australia, and even England now are making moves to ensure that their players aren't snared up by franchises.
Yeah.
I mean, they pretty much abolished the way central contracts are given, handing out multi-year deals. Multi-year deals. When has that ever been heard of in central contracts? Always been yearly.
In the case of the Sena countries, okay, why this entire injury management and this debate has come about is, see, in the Sena countries, I would say mostly it was Australia and New Zealand and England. These three guys. South Africa, I mean, their priorities are very clear at this point. But in the England, New Zealand and Australia context, they were the first to come up with this term called workload management.
Yeah.
And honestly, Australia hated that concept.
Yeah, but now they've come around because they have structured it in such a way that it actually works for them.
In India, this has warped into something ugly called as pick and choose. All format player, but then, okay, 2023, it's an ODI World Cup year, yaar. Let us not give importance to this format, right? It was a WTC year, so you had to give importance to test. Test is the pinnacle. Now in 2022, ODIs are not important here. Let us play only T20Is. And that too, most of our elite players played about 1/3 of the total T20Is. That's it. Because of either injury
or the dreaded workload
management. India is spooked, and the fear is evident in KL Rahul's case. He's overcautious. What if I suffer another injury that puts me out for another 4 to 5 months? Because with KL Rahul, understand one thing. It's like a wave of injuries. One injury happens, there's another one. There's another one. It happened in June 2022. He got a groin injury, but then it turned out to be sports hernia. Then it turned out to be COVID. Then a thigh strain, but then later on it became an adductor problem and other kind of issues. Asia Cup. All these kind of things. With KL, once bitten, twice shy. In this case, twice bitten, thrice shy.
But the same with Shreyas Iyer, I'm afraid.
How many times he's had back issues?
So there's nothing different there.
His back is propped up on a prayer. And let us be very honest, his mind also got scrambled because of the kind of things he did after he got dropped from the remainder of the 3 tests. Could have made himself available for Mumbai, but again got a back spasm, which was not communicated. Then if it was communicated, if the communication channels were pretty clear, wouldn't the BCCI have acknowledged it if we want to trust them?
No, but communication, we are going round in circles, Siddharth. The same thing happened with KL. The BCCI is saying he was 90% fit. What communication?
But here KL has been honest enough.
That's
in the case of KL and Ishan, it's not been. See, he himself has stated, I'm not feeling that comfort level. I've got discomfort.
So did Shreyas Iyer also say. He's getting pain after 30 balls. We're going in circles. Same thing.
That thing. We all agree it was a ludicrous statement by Shreyas Iyer.
But same thing. What if you are ready to give benefit of doubt to KL for everything? Maybe Shreyas also had seriously has something that after 30 balls.
But then, okay.
We don't know.
See, in KL's case, he survived. He didn't have any IPL preseason camp or anything in that sense. The case of Shreyas, that hurt.
But it's not like his franchise aren't in touch. Yeah. They have also been in touch. They're concerned about the situation, and right now the belief is he'll be fit.
And we all know.
But you answered your own question when you said he'll play the first game. Yes, Shivam, quick.
Sir, Indian players को इतनी injury क्यों होती है? बाकी teams के लिए top level.
Because there's no break.
No. I will also kind of disagree. It's not just the Indian players. You saw in the 2010s to 14 period, Australia.
Yeah, I was
lot
just
of injuries.
Mitchell Johnson.
No, not Mitchell Johnson. Stark
is mostly
Cummins lost like
mostly
James Pattinson, Ben Hilfenhaus.
But the batters aren't that injured as Indian batters.
Yeah.
Their bowlers
are injured.
No, but Indian batters, stop that gym and that.
That's the thing. See, we all thought that India would have learnt a lesson or two looking at how Zahir Khan was almost mismanaged. Remember, he had that hamstring injury, which it was in this context today, he would have been trolled. From 2005 to 6, I think Zahir's hamstring was the biggest talking point in Indian cricket. What happened?
It was right behind Tendulkar's tennis elbow.
As I said, the difference is fast bowlers getting injured and continuous injury is one thing. We've had a lot of them. Ashish Nehra used to be injured very often, but that's okay. That was the nature. Batters getting this injured, I can't remember, so many batters getting injured, which never happened. Rahul Dravid would barely miss a test match. I know VVS Lakshman would have a lot of back trouble, but would play through pain.
Yes.
So
ask the Aussies, Mohali 2010.
Yeah, so I can't remember so many batters missing out, which is a valid point. Sachin, so many issues he would have, but would play, with that pain. Okay, let's get to the questions as well. Sudhanshu Saxena from the UK says, Nikhil and team, love your show. Come to London soon. Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Sudhanshu.
Sudhanshu.
Hopefully, we'll come to London one day. Maybe have a session of Dugout from there.
Yeah.
Vishisht Base, he's saying, Nikhil sir, KL is certain in playing 11. No player will miss out on international matches. He was also informed. No domestic cricket was involved in this case. So he's saying.
But he was in form in what format when he got recalled in ODIs? So this is different strokes for different folks. Then he didn't play domestic cricket.
But then see, in KL's case, the format mixing has happened every single
Format
time.
mixing has happened everywhere. Rohit Sharma last
Yeah.
played a domestic game in 2015.
Yeah.
Was handed a recall in which year? 2019.
No, in test matches,
In
yeah,
Test.
2019.
2019. So 4 years, what domestic cricket did he play then to be suddenly recalled?
That is
You backed potential as you've done with KL.
But in the case of Rohit, it worked.
But that's why no one questions it.
That is the problem. See, because it worked for one player, they all think it will work for others also. That is the problem. And with Iyer also, three things, as I said, went against him. His poor form in the test matches, but KL, his ODI form spilled over into test match form also. He was your best batter in South Africa. So.
No, but the form thing is they've not dropped him for form. Nah?
Not entirely anyway.
Okay,
not
Shubham Garg is saying, Nikhil sir, Shreyas made himself available for the third test, citing he is fit now, whereas for domestic he was unfit. KL never made himself available. I agree, but the point is the difference here was that the BCCI staff said he's 90% fit to play. It's not up to him to make himself available or not. Then it's out of your hand. The staff is saying that he is, then you are. In Iyer's case, I guess the difference was because he was on the verge of being dropped, which didn't happen. But should then this be a norm that if you are a certainty, you can pick and choose, but if you're not a certainty, so harsher action will be taken. That's the initial point that I made. If that's the case, sure, then it's best you are told about it, that yes, this diktat has come in, but it will be looked at differently for different players.
Yep.
Shubham wants to know from you, Shane, wasn't Shreyas given free pass in Asia Cup after injury? Team just wanted him to play long innings in Ranji. Iyer has shown respect in him.
No, I agree that, by the way, I'm not disputing the action that's put there against him. All we're saying is then let it be consistent. The action taken against him was good. If you felt he was disrespecting Test cricket, which every single bit of information we have suggests that he was not trying to play, a domestic cricket, Ranji Trophy in this case, then you were harsh on him. But that hasn't happened with everyone, that's a fact. And also, he was given a free pass? No, he was one of your better ODI performers. That's why he was recalled to the team after he was injured. They rehabilitated him. They didn't play him. They didn't risk him for the longest of times. In fact, he had that minor injury problem in the Asia Cup when they brought back or rushed back KL Rahul.
See, Iyer and Rahul, in the Asia Cup, prior to that, they were in the same boat.
They were in the exact same boat. They were training in the NCA together.
Yeah.
They were also, they were playing together. They were brought back into the side together.
Alur, they played together, but then see, Iyer got his chance earlier. He played against Pakistan. He played against everybody else. But then, when Iyer got the injury, then only KL capitalized.
Yeah, because Rahul at that point had not been fully, there were some doubts as to match fitness, let's say.
So again, Shubham Garg is saying the same thing. Can you please tell me when KL was dropped in the test squad, not in the 11? He was part of the Oz series, WTC final squad, he was injured there.
WTC final squad I remember, but he wasn't injured during the Australia series. He got injured in the IPL.
He got injured during the IPL.
He got injured in
but
the
he was
IPL.
there in the squad, that's what he's saying. He played the first two tests.
My point is that if you wanted him to get back some form, you could have sent him to play domestic cricket then. Was it not going on?
No, it was done. March, it happened in mid-March.
BCT happened in Feb-March.
So by that time, the Ranji could have been done.
No, but anyway, the diktat hadn't come.
The diktat has come suddenly. And now we are all thinking, oh, Ranji is the ultimate.
No, it's okay. Whenever it's come, and I'm happy about it. All I'm saying is then it needs to be followed through and not just case by case basis.
Which won't happen. Which won't happen in
Shivam
India.
ji, today you are Mr. Shekhar. He says, please let this dugout not be playing victim card for Iyer. Remember, Iyer openly admitted being disinterested in Ranji prior to first year. Absolutely.
Yeah. Who's apologizing for him?
We're very happy that step has been taken. We would like that to be taken to everyone who disrespects domestic cricket. Samir Kumar says, BCCI has stooped to populism and witch hunt. If BCCI fixes its selection policy, things will fall into place slowly. And honest effort, not sensationalism. I think Sameer summed it up the best so far.
Selection policy.
No, but I'm see again on selection. I'm happy a start has been made, and for that I will give credit to Ajit Agarkar. See, he was brought in for exactly this.
Yep.
Why? Because they said no, he's the guy who has stature. He'll be hard taskmaster. You needed a chairman of selectors who can tell the players that no, boss. And I like that. And a great start has been made under Ajit Agarkar. Something that has been happening. By the way, if you followed Ajit Agarkar's kind of an administrative career, where he was earlier selector for Mumbai also. At that time also, I remember he had put his foot down when players were not serious about playing domestic cricket. So that's something that he respects a lot and expects his players to be taking very seriously. He himself continued to play domestic cricket even after he was out of contention with the Indian team.
Correct.
Continued
Captain
to
Mumbai.
play for Mumbai. Yes. So he knows all that, which I agree the start has been made. All I'm saying is this needs to then be spread across and with every player. That's all. Not just one or two players. That's the whole point here. But the start that has been made, absolutely brilliant. It wasn't being done for years. Things were allowed to be brushed under the carpet. I'm happy that a authoritative chairman of selector is there who's getting the stuff done.
Dhairya is saying KL Rahul is not fit for 1 month, but in the gap of 11 days between 5th test and IPL, he will become the fittest player ever. No, Dhairya, that is wrong. That is, you're really casting aspersions over KL Rahul because he's not been fit.
Hashtag hustle will be the...
Dhairya, it's not easy being KL Rahul, I'm telling you, because gets injured, has to again start from scratch, gets injured. There are some bodies that they are just fragile for international cricket. I mean, just ask many of the Australians. I mean, Bruce Reid. If anybody in the 90s will remember Bruce Reid, a tall, lanky bowler, left armer. He could have played 70, 80 tests, but his back was just so fragile. He was restricted to just 24 tests in a 7-year cycle. So, international cricket, just ask Pat Cummins. He lost 6 years of his career because of a bad back. But now, he's your best captain. He's played over 50 tests.
All examples are of bowlers. I'd love to know of more.
How many
and more
batters?
batters.
Which batter has gotten so injury prone?
That's
Shreyas
exactly.
Iyer.
That's what I'm saying.
No, outside of India. I mean, because that has to lend credence. Now, outside of India, I will say, anyway, India, there is a lot of injuries. That's how they are. But
I can't think of many.
Okay, think about it. Dex is saying, tell something about Carlton and United series 97.
oh yes, Carlton and United, the tri-series, Australia, New Zealand and South Africa that happened. The tri-series.
Okay.
So,
it was called Carlton and United.
It was. And I remember that series of the absolutely wonderful attire that was there. South Africa had a red and a green kind of a costume at that time. Donald was in fine form. Klusner was in fine form. Pollock was in fine form.
What a team that was.
Yeah. Prior to the Carlton and United series, Australia had won the series, test series 1-0. Then South Africa defeated them in all the league games. Final, best of 3. They lost the first final, Australia, then went back to win the 2 finals. And it continued, and it continues even now.
I don't know anything about this series. I would have been 4 or 5 years old at the time.
I mean, Australia would be your go-to destination for all these matches because production quality, stadiums.
And they had a lot of these tri-series, I remember.
They had a lot. And listening to Bill Lawry, Tony Gregg and Richie Beno, Ian Chappell, wow.
Good commentary.
Vishisht Bess is saying that his point is that KL injured for international, Shreyas for domestic. Why KL will miss few more international runs? So domestic was not involved. His injury looks genuine. That's what he is saying. Which is probably.
Maybe.
By the way, just on the point of why, I was just going to sneeze, on the point of why players will miss international cricket, that's a larger point.
To
but
be
we
fit
do
for the
know,
IPL.
We do know a lot of players who miss on international.
To
I'm
be
not
fit for
saying
the IPL.
this implies to KL, but generally,
Yep.
a lot of them. So don't let that be the reason. But your opinion is well taken.
Yep.
Mr. Shekhar.
Can any of you explain the concept of the Cooch Behar Trophy, how the name came about, and how is the pathway to Ranji or national selection? It's mostly for Ranji selection pathway.
Cooch Behar is for your
For
age.
an area.
It's age groups.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's an area in
Central India. It
yeah.
was at that time in the colonial era, it was Cooch Behar.
Yeah.
Around the Chota Nagpur area
Correct.
plateau in that sense.
Correct.
So, it is underage. It's like I think under 23 or under 21s get
23.
to under 23. They get to play in the Cooch Behar tournament, and if you perform well in that, you get sidetracked into the fast track into the Ranji system, and then
The first class system.
first class system. It's your Cooch Behar is your feeder system in that sense.
Yeah, but it's kind of redundant in that way because now players are graduating from under 19 levels to.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw Mushir do it just fine.
Yeah, so like I mean, effectively, if you are 23 and you're not playing for your Ranji team, not to say that they will not, a lot of them
Under
will
19s.
Yeah, under 19s, under 23s in that sense. It's your domestic system, and primarily I think it's also a feeder system for your under 19 team also. Under 19, under 23s all play that. It's I think been run about 75 years.
23 is CK Naidu.
CK Naidu, yeah.
23 is CK Naidu, correction, yeah. Cooch Behar is 19.
19, yep.
Yeah.
And recently I think Haryana won something, right? Recently.
They are the champions.
They are the champions, yes. I think it's for
19.
80 years I think the Cooch Behar has been going on. I think. When was it first? 45 to 46, okay.
Yeah. So pre-independence. in a sense.
Pre-independence. Yep.
Yeah, it was named after that area. Yeah.
Vishal Panchal, can we trust the NCA? If the player says he's feeling pain but NCA says he's fit, Rahul is also 90% as per NCA fit now going to England for a checkup. See, can we trust the NCA? There have been 2 instances by which the trust was shaken. Riddhiman Saha, that entire episode, the NCA didn't cover themselves in glory
The
at
finger
all.
injury.
It later on turned out to be something else altogether.
No, while I agree that NCA is also not, as they say, Doodh Ka Dhula, and there were a few issues even with Rohit Sharma, if you remember.
Hardik too. He preferred healing up with the IPL owners rather than.
I agree,
Yes.
but my point is that they'll have to be a central authority now.
Yep.
You can't leave it up to players. Then each player will decide what his injury is, what injury level, when he should make a comeback, which place he needs to get treated. All of those will also be issue. You need to have a central authority that has to chip in. After that, I think BCCI has been very accommodating. If a player thinks like if there's an injury, there's decided, it's not that you'll have to go to where BCCI tells you to. You could pick up your own, doctors or surgeons, and you can go, and BCCI bears the expenditure also. They're pretty accommodating that way. But I think some central authority has to be there, through which everything goes. Otherwise, anyone will decide what they want to do, when they are fit, when they are injured.
Then it's all self-declaration. No?
Yeah, that can't work. That can't
Self-attestation.
work. But having said that, to say that NCA themselves, or especially the medical team at NCA doesn't need a fix, that belongs to, it does. That needs to be streamlined, and there are issues there. But at the moment, that's the only centralized thing that you have. And you need some authority from somewhere, some neutral agency, right? Can't leave it up to players. What do you do?
Can't. Any other normal questions?
What is normal and what is all
These are-
questions?
these are
are
abnormal
all
questions.
questions.
All other questions.
These are abnormal questions.
Yeah.
These questions.
Okay, 1 or 2 we'll take. Akash Bharda says, guys, will this Ranji thing continue when Dravid leaves?
And he's also given the timeline. He's saying
But
he'll leave in June.
it may
He's
continue.
actually-
As I
I
said,
know.
the one, while Dravid has played a role in that, I think the one who's been very
Ajit Agarkar.
instrumental is Ajit Agarkar.
Yeah. I think Agarkar, if he ensures, he will do it. Yep.
Okay, Hiten is saying, do you think Rohit can play till ICC Champions Trophy 2025 as he performs in most eyes? I think he should.
I think that will be his last.
White ball.
Yeah.
Could very well be.
See,
Possible.
2025 again, he's got 2 chances. February, and if India make it to the final, WTC final.
Yeah. Final question from Yash. He wants to know if Hardik wants to come back in Test cricket, does he need to come through Ranji or direct entry as he has connection? No. What is it? No, but
Yash.
okay. To answer your question, does he need to come? Can he come directly or does he need to play domestic cricket?
Ideally, you should make him play domestic cricket. But whether the BCCI will enforce that, we don't know.
I would want him to, if he wants
Yeah.
to come back. Though I don't think it will happen now. But if in case he wants to, he'll have to play a few. And I think the BCCI is also quite reasonable in that, because Rahul Dravid has said it earlier. There are not too many games, not throughout the season. Play 1 game or 2 games
Yep.
and then come back.
But Hardik has to first be
He won't now. Now, not 30 years
He's
old.
fit, no, he's playing that tournament.
But for 5-day test cricket,
Or not that though, he's made it very
very
he's
clear.
not-
5 years, yeah, now won't happen.
And that he decided that when he was 25, he was 30 years old now. Fat chance of it happening.
Yeah.
Okay, on that note, bye bye. Thank you. Take care.
Nandri.
Vanakkam, Nandri, Sasyakal, Shubhratri, Shabba Khair, everything.
Don't
See you
trouble your
tomorrow.
mother and
Eat your
eat your
veggies.
vegetables. Yep, we'll be
See
back
you
tomorrow.
Tomorrow, same time, same destination, with something fresh to talk about. And look forward to your company.
Yep.